episode is sponsored by Thompson Insurance Group. They're committed to helping you manage the risks that arise in everyday life. They want your insurance to work hard for you and your family. Let them help you find the right protection while giving you peace of mind knowing you're covered. That's Thompson Insurance Company, located in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Hey guys, Erica Sicoscio here with Practical Biz Podcast. Super excited that you tuned in today. I appreciate it. I hope you're ready to start your new year. I know I certainly am. So we're all ready, right? New year, new you. You're going to lose that extra weight. You're going to start your next $1 million company. You're going to have that work-life balance that you always dreamed of, right? All of that, right? Wah, wah, wah. Well, you've operated in a pandemic for the last 3 years. We're heading into a recession. We have to think about and have nightmares about supply chains and inflation and staffing and all the other things that come with running a small business, especially data breaches. That's a scary one. Anyway, so we're all in the same storm, business owners, and we are joined today with our guest, Meg Cook, aka the Protein Princess, and she's here to chat with us a little bit about how you and I can avoid business owner burnout. So Meg, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me on here. I love to talk, so being able to do this in this kind of setting is very exciting for me. So my name is Megan. My brand and my business is called Princess Protein. I'm now 29 years old. I don't know when that happened. Apparently 29 years ago, but it doesn't feel that way. I am a fitness and nutrition coach, and I'm based here out of Rhode Island, but I do online coaching. So I work with people from all over, and it's really exciting, and it's fun to be in the digital age. I kind of grew up with it, not so much, but being in that space, it's fun to be able to connect with people from all over the world.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Same thing with podcasting. Like one of my favorite podcasters, her name is Melissa Ellis, and she's in California, and literally we just chatted the other day, and I felt like I knew her. She felt like she knew me.
Well, that's you and I too.
Yeah.
It's the first time we're actually meeting each other in physical person because we're part of an online networking group, and that's just the way it is. I'm very social, so this is cool.
Yeah. So let's kind of just dive right in. Before we do that, though, you need to subscribe. Your turn. Hit the button.
We'll wait.
Give me 5, girl.
Derek's going to edit this, so let's stay here. We'll wait. Yeah.
All right. So, Meg, let's start with, for me, one of the challenges that I have had is finding that me time. And I know a lot of that is because I don't shut off. I try to, and I just don't. My brain is always going. So I know it's important for me to do. Maybe you can give me some guidance on what you think or why me time is important and best ways to maybe carve that out.
Yeah, well, me time is important because, like you said, we have all the day-to-day activities, but who is taking care of you while you're taking care of everything else? Eventually what will happen, and it's not an if, it's a will, you will hit burnout and you will absolutely crash and burn. And not only is it not great for your mental health, it's bad for your physical health because when stress oxidates in the body, it affects you in so many different ways. And that could be a whole podcast on its own, just talking about stress. But when it comes to having you time, it needs to be based on something that you enjoy, something that is going to light you up and put a fire inside of you that you're going to get excited to show up for. And sometimes you don't know how, and that's okay, but you find something you like and then you put an action plan into place. I'll give a really good example. In 2021, I decided I wanted to get back into reading because reading brings me joy, but we're so overstimulated on our phones. I hadn't been doing it for so long. So what I did is I set up an action plan, 10 pages a day. And I ended up reading more than 10 pages a day, but the goal was 12 books a year. And now I can read a book within 1 to 2 days because I built the habit. But that 10 to 15 minutes a day, it allowed me to just soak in 100% everything of me. And I had fun. And I was like, nothing else matters right now. Why can I not give myself 10 minutes of time? That's bullshit. Honestly, sorry. I don't know if I can.
Okay.
But that's a load of bull. If I can't shut off and give myself me time, why am I expected to give to everybody else? I need to come first. I know you've heard it all the time, but it's true. You cannot pour from an empty cup because you will hit burnout.
Yeah. So I think I probably had hit and burnout multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
So I do agree with what you're saying. And I think one of the hard things for me is because I do love business so much, I have a hard time shutting off, but I do like reading. So maybe just having that connection, maybe reading books about business or about, other leaders, and their leadership roles and how they grew their companies. Maybe would be a good fit for that.
Yeah.
I know I just bought, my God, a book that I've had for 3 weeks. I've only read 4 pages of it. I can't even remember the name of it. Atomic Habits.
Yes.
So
love,
I heard.
love that.
I
book, and I
heard.
recommend it to my.
So I bought it, but I haven't made the commitment.
Oh, it's great.
To move through it.
Which is ironic.
Yeah, it is ironic, right? But I have, since I bought the book, made my bed every day.
Okay.
So
it's a start, though.
I know that sounds silly, but I wake up super early. I'm usually in work pretty early. My days are usually 10 to 12 hours long. So something as silly and stupid as that, it was a first step.
Yeah.
And then I started meal prepping 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So it was small for me to make those moves. But
that's the thing. But you might find too, a lot of entrepreneurs, since this is targeted towards us, cannot shut off, cannot take a full day off. It just doesn't happen. The anxiety creeps in, and there's no right or wrong if you're really motivated. But I've talked with friends in the space. If you can take a half day, if you can take just a little bit of time for you, it will relieve the anxiety of, oh crap, I can't get anything done. It's like, no, I can still get stuff done, but I have to make this a priority. So instead, schedule in your time as if it were a client or a podcast. Schedule it.
Yeah, and I do never back out on those. I think the other thing too is really paying attention to the energy suckers and the time suckers, because I can be here 12 hours and get a minimal amount done, and I can come here on a Saturday and literally do a week worth of work by myself in like 3 or 4 hours. I did it yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, you said that
did it
last
yesterday,
night.
right? So that continues to be. So maybe it's not a matter. It's like maybe I'm more productive if I, like you said, take a half day off here or there, and then come in on the Saturday, and because that feels good anyway, So so thank you for sharing your insight on me time. So clearly you are a trainer. So let's talk about exercise. Okay.
Yes.
So I know, although you wouldn't tell, I have been going to a gym for a very long time. I love the gym. I feel so good after I exercise. It is unlike any other drug for my brain.
Yep, good endorphins.
So absolutely. So you can't always judge a book by a cover, because I promise you, on a treadmill, I can outwalk on a ramp all my skinny friends. So don't judge it that way. However, I've had COVID 4 times in the last 3 years. And so that took a huge impact. And then 2019, at the end of the year, in November, my mom passed, and she had been sick on and off in the hospital for about a year and a half during that period of time. So there were a lot of stresses and a lot of I'm not making excuses, but just a lot of like the priority. The priority was really at that time was our mom.
Yeah.
Right. So I didn't get to go as frequently as I had been before. And the really funny thing is I had started doing exercising keto right before my mom really got sick, and I lost like 70 pounds. When I tell you I went to LA Fitness every day, if you go back on my timeline, you will see literally in the dark at 5 a.m, checking in every day. But then, life happens. Like you said, I'm human, life happens. And then a pandemic happened, and now, recession happened. And so to the business owners out there, I understand that although, we're like, oh yeah, it's easy. I know from a very real perspective that it isn't easy, but we all know it is necessary.
Yeah.
So talk to us about the importance of exercise, and also what does it mean to be healthy, because it isn't a factor only on size.
Yeah, what I was
many things
about to comment on when you were talking about like your weight or how you look, it's just one unit of measure. And when I do my check-ins with my clients, we look at biofeedback, like your sleep, your energy, your mood, your bowel movements. So we just get like really into it. It's just one unit of measure. It's a way to track stuff. So don't get so hung up on that.
Yeah.
But yes, like you said, good endorphins. I think it's funny. There's a quote from Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. She's like, exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins are happy, and happy people don't kill their husbands. But it's like so true, because it releases those good feelings in your body. Not only does it help you physically get stronger, which is something that people want when they say that they actually want to lose weight. Most of the time it's fat loss. So exercising helps you build up muscle mass, which aids in fat loss.
Right.
But it empowers you, when you prove to yourself that you can do something,
Yeah.
that motivates you in all areas of
Yeah.
life. A lot of things that you learn in the fitness and nutrition space can be translated into other areas of life. But
Absolutely.
the biggest thing is if I set a goal for my client and when they achieve it, I don't say if, I say when they achieve it, they've proven to themselves that they're capable. And that's so much more than just the physical aspect, you know?
Yeah.
So just moving your body, you need to do it. You only have this one body. You have to treat it right.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to be on 100% of the time, but if you want to live a long and fulfilling life, movement has to be
Yeah.
in some way at the forefront of that.
And the other thing too, I think, is when from a business standpoint, especially as I get older, you have to keep your mind sharp.
Yeah.
And certainly exercise and good blood flow and all the components that happen on top of the endorphins really do help you stay sharp, which is why you see the best of the best in the game. They're not all working out for vanity. They're working out because they know it gives them a competitive edge
Absolutely.
when it comes to mental sharpness, when it comes to endurance, when it comes to overcoming hurdles mentally in your mind that you don't think you can do. So I can see even from a business standpoint, if you love your business so much and you can't make that time for yourself, then I say, if you're so committed to your business, you still need to do it because it's going to give you that mental edge and you come in a good mood.
That might be your me time also.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, it definitely was. And I used to go before the school opened because I found once it was open, even if no one called me, I kept worrying about,
Yeah.
they need me, what if something happens, da-da-da-da. And so when the school was closed or on a weekend, I always found I had my best workouts because I was 100% plugged in to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was hard when the school was open. So I think that might have been one of the reasons why I didn't do like a half day. When this place is open, it's just like, even if my body's not here, a lot of times my mind is, if that
Sure.
makes sense.
Yeah,
But
totally.
that could be to the nature of my business.
Yeah.
Like if somebody makes a mistake here, like someone can really get hurt. I'm not making t-shirts or hamburgers.
Yep.
Right. So I take that very seriously because there are people stealing, as I should.
Yeah.
So are there any other benefits for exercise other than reducing stress, other than keeping you healthy?
Then keeping healthy. Well, we talked about the mindset aspect. That's a huge part of it. Benefits of exercise, like as you age too, like your joints being able to move. Like, you know, you ever, when we stretch in class, I'm like, all right, we're about to find out how old we are. Everyone's going to groan when we do this exercise, but it really is. But I mean, as far, so you get the mental aspect, you get the physical aspect, and you just get the overall well-being. And you don't have to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to be in the gym 6-7 days a week, even a couple days that you can dedicate for you. Like there's just so many benefits, like
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. Exercise doesn't have to be limited to vanity.
I have to say my favorite is actually weightlifting.
Yeah. Oh
I
my
love
God.
strength
Yeah.
training. That's my favorite. I mean, I can do cardio as long as anybody else, but I do like strength training. I feel like you get a different feel, especially if you have those headphones in. I know you don't.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And girl, you pumping yourself up. You think you are a bad mamma jamma. When you were done,
Yeah, you do though.
we're ready to take on the world. So
You could even like cry like you manifest, but I'll give you the trainer's secret to fat loss. It's not cardio, it's weight training.
yeah. So let's talk about setting boundaries and saying. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's actually funny you said that because I was just doing that right now as I was going to respond to a client's message. I said, no, I have to respect the boundaries that I've put in place there, but not even just like in business and in life, but I want to enjoy the life that I have too. And I freaking love my business. I love what I do so much and I want to continue to enjoy it. And if I don't put boundaries in place to treat it as a business, there's not going to be a business. First of all, it's going to be me running ragged, just treating something like a hobby, pulling myself in every direction. But I really love it so much that I've had to learn how to prioritize boundaries. Like if I say I'm going to respond within 24 hours, that means I get myself 24 hours to respond. If I'm with family, I don't need to be checking my phone. And that's taken me a really long time to learn, unfortunately. But once I've learned it, I'm able to produce more income and take care of my clients better because it's a business. These are the business rules and I respect them and I stick to them.
Yeah. So you millennials really have it right.
Maybe. But it really has taken a long
hard.
time to
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard because I do respond frequently to my customers.
Yeah, last night I was like, get off you was at 6:30. I was like, okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow. And you're like, oh, and then I was talking to so-and-so. I was like, all right, she didn't get it. Goodbye.
But yeah, no. So yeah, that's super important. So for you business owners out there, I know it's super hard because I do it too. I know that there is a level of customer service. And I do love what you said. I let my customers know that I'll get back to them within 24 hours. So maybe even for you, if that means during these hours, this is when I'm available. After those hours, I can get back to
Put that in my contract too.
So, that might be something, food for thought, or a way that people can still feel like they're valuing both themselves and their
Yes, and your clients will understand. You'll actually attract better clients into your life because they respect themselves enough to respect you.
Yeah.
If you don't get a response back within 5 minutes, if you're freaking out, I don't really want you as a client on my roster, because I want you to understand that being healthy is also about setting boundaries.
Right. Wow, it's a good point. So let's talk about ways that people unwind that maybe aren't healthy.
Aha. Okay.
So let's talk about that. I know many business owners, some of the things we do is at the end of the day at work, people are like, oh, let's go get a drink, or let's go out to eat, or, let's do some other nonsense thing that really is counterproductive to the whole thing you just did all day. Right? So what is your advice around that? Or maybe what are some healthy ways that you think people should unwind outside of reading books and exercise? What other thoughts do you think?
Yeah, well, back to what we were talking about, finding things that you like and being able to do them because it's going to bring you happiness. But I work on creating a nighttime routine also with my clients, things to do like setting the lights lower and listening to music instead of using your phone, making sure that your blue light amount, I don't know, wear those blocking glasses if you're going to be using it. Not to use your phone like at half an hour before bed, which I gotta not be hypocritical. Luckily, I don't have that. But God, if I did, that's a boundary that I had to set. Yeah, I would be addicted. But creating that routine also that can help you unwind. Even things like taking a bath and using like magnesium, because that helps relax the body and relax the muscles. So it kind of tricks yourself naturally into getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
So if you can create a routine and stick with it, then your body's going to get adjusted to be like, okay, now that we're doing XYZ, I know that sleep is coming next.
Yeah.
So really just being consistent with some sort of a routine that you like.
Yeah.
But low lights, not using our phone as much. I know people aren't going to like that, but it really will keep you up.
I know it does. I keep mine on my nightstand. I got to move it. I got to move it out of my bed.
Yeah, there's alarm clocks too that... Well, actually, just like a regular alarm clock. You actually put your phone on the other side of the room. So you have to get up and just scroll. But how many of us open our phone and scroll the first thing when we wake up? No. You should not be doing that before bed or after.
Yeah.
But I would say routines. The magic is in the routine.
Okay. So some healthy ways I definitely like to unwind is I definitely do love to travel.
Oh my God.
Yeah. In our state, in Rhode Island, you don't really have to go far. Our state has literally everything. We do. We have, if you want to go, up north, there's places to hike. And if you want to go to the beach, I just go down the street.
We even have like countryside.
We have everything. We have everything. So we're super lucky in Rhode Island that you really can get any experience you want in like 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 20 if you want to go all the way to New York.
Breathing fresh air does the body good.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to talk about is, can we talk a little bit about nutrition?
Absolutely.
So since you are the queen of, I moved you up to queen, queen of princess, queen of protein there. Talk to us a little bit about nourishment.
Well, the first thing is you have to eat. I know that sounds really silly, but a lot of people, they just go into Dunkin' and they're not having any fuel in their body.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, the importance of eating upon waking and drinking upon waking water, not caffeine, is very vital for our hormones and our body's natural rhythm, so our circadian rhythm. When we just fuel ourselves with caffeine, what it's doing is it starts throwing our hormones off, and our cortisol is going to drop at certain levels of the day where it shouldn't be. So it's actually throwing off your internal clock. So like really eating as soon as you wake up is very important. And if you can't do that, just promise me you'll drink a glass of water before you go to Dunkin'. That's really important. At least get some hydration in there, please. But in order for your body to activate the way that you want it to, you have to be eating like things like fiber and protein, fruits and vegetables. We can't just live on processed stuff. It's only going to take you so far. But actually, you lose weight by eating more. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's because your metabolism, metabolic adaptations happen when you've underfueled for so long. So you need to fuel that body in order to get it burning again, which is a very foreign concept to people. So when I have someone for the first time that wants to lose weight, I get them at their maintenance calories and they're like, why am I eating more? And then their body like tightens up. They see that recomposition. So they might only lose like a pound or two, but their body changes completely because they're nourishing it. It's insane.
I think too, depending on your age, obviously what you eat is a factor there too. But I think that when I was growing up, everything was low fat,
Low carb, low sugar.
Oh no.
Oh, no carb.
Oh, listen, you can eat carbs like crazy. Like
Good.
a
Still
bagel at one point in life used to be considered healthy, and yogurt that was full of sugar, all of those things. So, but it was like, don't eat fat. And now it's like, keto is eat fat, don't eat carbs. So I think sometimes depending on your age and how you grew up, you have to like tell your brain, like, no, that they were incorrect, right? That food pyramid was not exactly right. So I do think it's a mixture of things too, because I think if you don't, not processed foods, but just real foods, I think if you eliminate one way, like, I'm not eating carbs, you are going to binge the heck out, right? So you have to eat. So I do love them sweet potatoes. I know they're a carb, but they're low, right? Low
Carbs are
sugar,
bad.
right? Yeah. Wow.
Don't worry. We can have a whole other podcast where we talk about nutrition.
One thing I will say, though, that I noticed, and you had brought up processed food. So I have high blood pressure, which I only got in 2019. And I think it probably was a lot of stress induced. So now I'm on blood pressure medication. So as I said, I had been meal prepping. So my regular blood pressure would run anywhere from 150 over 99, somewhere around there, to 132, depending if I took meds.
Yeah.
The other day, in 2 weeks, I drank water every day and meal prepped. I didn't eat anything processed. The other day, my blood pressure was 120 over 88 in that short of period of time.
Is that interesting?
But just, cutting out salt.
How did you feel physically?
I felt great.
Yeah.
I felt great. I felt like my knees were a little bit, more loose. But yeah, I felt good. So I do think that that's really important.
Yeah, and it starts with one habit. Just pick something that you can do every day to help work towards it. You don't have to overhaul your life.
I would say the biggest advice, because I know we're probably getting close to our timeline here. My biggest advice, I would say, to those that live a crazy life like me, that run, business, and you're doing 10, 12-hour days, like, pack your stuff like one day. Like, when I leave here today, I'm going to meal prep. I know that sounds silly, but I literally will boil like a dozen of eggs.
Yeah.
Because if I don't have time for something, I'm literally grabbing a protein shake, an egg, and a cheese stick, and I'm out, right? Because if I don't, I'm going to be tempted to go to Dunkin'.
And plus, that adds up.
It does.
$5 here and there, it adds up.
Right. So that as well. We did talk a little bit about the importance of sleep. The last thing I want to touch on is being in the moment, enjoying the little victories.
Yep.
Because I think as a business owner, it is so easy to get caught up in putting off the daily fires or always feel like you're in survival mode.
Mm-hmm. And
I think we don't often enough enjoy the little victories along the way. Like, you just got a new client, or, somebody, their sales went up 10% this month, right? So I think that that's really important. So before we wrap up, I want to give you a few minutes to maybe just talk about whatever you'd like to talk about, and tell us a little bit about how people can find you and the services you offer.
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about back in November, I decided I kind of wanted to overhaul everything that Princess Protein was to attract the right type of clients, to build out the business that I'd always been dreaming of. And it's one of those things we kind of hold ourselves back a little bit. And I decided, like, I'm just going to go for it. I know exactly what the hell I'm doing, and I know what I want to create. So why hold myself back? So we kind of just rebranded, and at Black Friday launched all my new fitness and nutrition coaching programs. And it's been fantastic ever since. And what it's like when you work with me, what I do is I sit down and I consult you. I figure out what your long-term goals are, what you've been doing beforehand, and then what I can do to help fill in those gaps and best support you. So everyone always asks, like, oh, what does it cost to work with a coach? It really does vary. And I don't want to have that answer that's like, oh, well, it depends person to person.
Sure.
But it does. Some people need more accountability, and some people just need a little bit of direction.
Because they hear Stella business concepts.
Absolutely.
Right. I have some business owners who are like, hey, I'm stuck right here. I help them get over that hurdle. See you in 6 months.
Yeah.
The people every week, you got to come in. What did you do? And I got 2 things on a list of 20. Okay. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, we got to move.
Great.
Right?
Yeah. And so from that, it's been so exciting to put all the systems in place that I'd been telling myself, oh, I'm not very techie, I can't do it. Bullshit. I figured it out. But it's the thing. Same thing that I do with my clients. We build it one step at a time. I started putting one foot in front of the other, and now it's fabulous. I've got all the systems. Exactly. And I feel so fulfilled and so happy. But when we work together, what I do is it's all online now, from your phone or your computer. I program everything you need. We have the Princess Protein app, like, figured that out. Like, what? Hello. But you get in there, you've got your workouts for the day, you've got your daily habits, you got your nutrition in there. So I can see everything on my end, hooks up to my Fitness Pal, check, check, check. I can see it all, so I can help guide you along the way. So it's really not so scary. I call myself the pocket personal trainer because it really is like having me in your back pocket.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, I love being able to connect with people and doing it just right from your phone.
So tell the listeners how they can connect with you.
Absolutely. So I am on Facebook and Instagram at the Princess of Protein, all one word, no capital letters. That's where you can find me at the moment, working on our social media. I think we're doing okay.
Yeah. If you need any help, I know a girl.
I do know somebody.
I know some folks that can help you with that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about today's episode. And that's it for Practical Biz. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye. Are you a business owner? Are ready to get your startup? Well, started. Have a burning question you would like us to answer? Want to know more about the services we offer? Or register for upcoming workshops and events? Looking to book a guest speaker? Or like to be a guest on the Practical Biz podcast? Visit our website at stellabusinessconcepts.com.